we have a cross-section of people that come here, from the wealthy to the poor. We actually had an occasion when a young man came rushing in here one morning just as we opened, and he said, I need a shirt and I need a tie because I'm going for a job. So of course, being old grandmas, we looked at him and he had jeans with holes in them, he was wearing thongs, and I said, we'll never get a job looking like that. I said, let's help you get that job and outfit you. So we found pants, we found a top, we found a shirt. He looked terrific for $25, but he only had 20. So he was short. So we said, don't worry. I said to him, look, you get that job, you can come back and you can give us the balance. And my friend who was with me said, we're never going to see him again. Anyway, a couple of hours later, in he rushed, bunch of flowers, lollies, the $5 note, and he said, I got the job. And that was a joy for us. So we hugged him and kissed him and he went off. End of story. But so we have wonderful people. We also have a man who comes here and cases out crystal. He's a retired man. Whenever there is some Orifors crystal, which very cheaply marked, because there's only 2 glasses, he comes and says, I'll have those. My cheap scotch is going to taste so much better from a good glass. And we agree with him. We don't give him a discount, but he always gives us an extra $1. So if it comes to, say, $4, he always says, have 5. I don't think he's a wealthy man. I think he's come down in the world, but he's a charming man and we love to see him. End of story. That's it for me.
My name is Jim van Praag and I joined BNEI BRITH Lodge, Wellington in 1961. BNEI BRITH in those days, and BNEI BRITH started about a year before I joined, it was a true lodge, very much modeled after Masonic lodges, with fairly strict rituals, with very strict titular uses of worthy this and most worthy that sort of thing. And you had to give a knock on the door to be allowed in, and it had to be the right knock, at least in theory, if not in practice. And we had 2 meetings a month. The one meeting was a formal meeting when we all dressed up in dinner suits, and all the formalities were taking place. And the second one was open to our wives, and that was, so there were 2 meetings in 1 month. They were conducted in a very friendly but very formal way. Our activities were in part, and not so unimportant, was anti-defamation. Anti-defamation in those days, I'm talking now back to the early 1960s, were in the hands of Jack Meltzer, brother Jack Meltzer. And Jack Meltzer was the secretary of the police association, so he had good contacts. And he single-handedly did the anti-defamation work, which was in those days reasonably simple. He died after some years, and I took this over. And when I took over the anti-defamation, shall we say, portfolio of Wellington Lodge, there was not enough membership to start a well-organized anti-defamation organization, but maybe 1 or 2 people already getting older and all that sort of thing. It wasn't possible. So together with Ian Lawrence, we started the Public Affairs Committee, which was a forerunner of what is now called the New Zealand Jewish Council. Well, in the anti-defamation, in the early days, and fundamentally still now, is to be awake, to be a vigilant committee, to see whether there's any outbreaks of anti-Semitism and to take the necessary steps to stop that, either by publicity or by working behind the scenes with the police or whatever, That was the main purpose, and fundamentally that is still the purpose now. Because of certain circumstances in Wellington, we also have to, and I say we because I'm still on that council, we have to now also take up sometimes the cudgels for Israel, because the Zionist Federation is not doing very much here, if anything, at the present time. I'm talking about Wellington. And so that's the main thing we did. We did write some publicity of general interest to the population as a whole. But that was the fundamental purpose of anti-defamation, as the word says. When I asked myself what BNEI BRITH has contributed to me, I would say I've made some very nice friends. I got to appreciate the various streams of Judaism within Wellington, Orthodox, not Orthodox, non-Jewish, non-religious at all, and so forth. It has given me an opportunity at certain stages to organize things on behalf of BNEI BRITH. That's what I've given to BNEI BRITH. Myself, well, I must say, I belong to so many other organizations of, shall we say, character building, if that's the sort of thing one is sometimes wondering about. But BNEI BRITH is a very valuable organization, and I wish it was as it used to be, that everybody felt that's the least you can do as a Jew, belong to BNEI BRITH. I enjoyed my time in BNEI BRITH in two ways. One was the fellowship. It used to be called brotherhood and sisterhood, fellowship in general with others of like mind. And also in those days going to Australia to the conferences, which are, I think are now called conventions, and mixing with the people there and getting make some good friends there too. That was always a highlight, but unfortunately I'm getting a bit long in the tooth to go to those now. BNEI BRITH is a wonderful organization. The aims and objects of BNEI BRITH are worthy, and I wish that a way could be found for all or many more Jews to join BNEI BRITH.